What's up, YouTube? What is happening? It is CoolStoryBrobat with Narrated Showdown battle number. I don't even. Dude, it's been so long since I did these. I don't even remember how I introduced these videos. It's been like over a year. But this is how you know I'm officially back when I start putting these joints up. I have a whole library full of bookmarks that I saved for anticipation of when I would start this back up. And I was planning to do this before, but I just never got around to it. Well, today's the day we get around to it. This is battle number 114. I had to look at my videos to see what number I was on. Here we go. This battle I had with my good friend Bob the Bro. He's a really cool guy. You know, he's a really good player. Very good player. And he always likes to test teams with me and just play for fun. And so I had made this team almost 2 weeks ago, like a week and some change ago, with Master Ampharos, my student. I introduced him during my last PS Live I uploaded. This is a stall team, as you can see here. This team is very disgusting, very obese, full of walls and defensive stuff. Now, this is the first version of the stall team I've made. I've made some changes since then, but for the time being, this is the version I have. If you want a quick rundown on it, it's physically defensive chestnut with wood hammer, leech seed, spikes, spiky shield, standard crap. Defensive Jellicent with, well, it's actually speedy Jellicent with taunts. It's the outrun, like, typical Suicune sets. Has, like, taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Hex, and Recover. I'm running Hex on it because Hex and Will-O-Wisp helps me deal with stuff like Reuniclus and Cresselia a lot more easily. Defensive Blissey with Stealth Rock. I think on this version, it was like Seismic Toss, Stealth Rock, Toxic. No, actually, no, I might have had dual Wish. I had like Wish Blissey with Wish and Protect, Stealth Rock, and then... No, I didn't even have Stealth Rock on Blissey on his team. I was screwing up. Well, whatever. It had like Thunder Wave, I think. Okay, and Sylveon, you know, standard Wish, Protect, Heal Bell, Cleric, Sylveon. Especially defensive Mega Swampert with Scald, Roar, Rest, and Sleep Talk. It sounds stupid not to run Earthquake on Mega Swampert, and it's gonna like kind of be important later in this match. You might guess why, but not running Earthquake was kind of a dumb decision. I figured, oh, hey, well, you know, I can get by without using Earthquake because I have other stuff for the things I need Earthquake for. Let's try it out and see how it goes at least. And especially defensive Fortress, especially defensive because my team hates Nasty Plot Celebi. It also hates fairies. Stuff like Calm Mind, Rest, Snore, Sylveon. Spec Sylveon can also be kind of annoying aside from Blissey. So that's why I'm running Heavy Slam on it, and Pin Missile for Celebi, and then Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin. So now that you have an overview of the team, let's look at Bob's team. Bob's team, this dude's got like freaking triple dragon offense. Dragons are broken, sure. If I was to assume what Kyurem set that is, you would typically assume it's got to be either something like Specs, Life Orb, or Sub Roost. If it's Sub Roost Kyurem, I'd actually be in for a haul, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Kyurem has base 100 HP, correct me if I'm wrong, so Sub Roost can actually sit there in front of Blissey and stall it and win against it one-on-one, and pretty much piss on the rest of my team aside from Sylveon. Very annoying. Hydreigon, you know, once again, you kind of have to guess. It could be Life Orb, you know, with like 4 attacks, Superpower, and Flash Cannon, which would be a big threat to my team if it's that set. If he's like Specs Hydreigon or something, then, you know, I can just play around it with Blissey and Sylveon and see what he goes for. Crocodile, I'm not worried about Crocodile. Toxicroak. Toxicroak's probably the biggest threat on his team, and this is the reason why Earthquake is so crucial on Swampert, because I don't have it. So that thing can screw me. If it's like setting up a Swords Dance, it beats everything else by itself, except Jellicent. Jellicent's like my only real answer to Swords Dance, Toxicroak, and it does not want to have to deal with it at +1. Slowking is kind of annoying. Actually, my only answer to Slowking is Jellicent, so those two alone are kind of a threat for this team. Haxorus, it's got to be like Dragon Dance. I'm not worried about Haxorus. Once again, play around it with like Blissey. I mean, not Blissey, Sylveon. Just try not to let it set up too much. But now that you kind of have an overview of the team and my game plan here is to not allow him to get his Toxicroak set up for free. Because like I said, my only answer to this Toxicroak at +2 is like freaking Roar on Mega Swampert. Oh man. Don't ever build stall teams at like 1 in the morning, man. It does things to you. I was testing this team against Bob the Bro because I just want to see how it fared against a good player, and I guess we're about to find out now. Let's go. So I lead off with Jellicent because I'm fearing the Toxicroak. I don't want that thing to have free turns. I go for a Will-O-Wisp immediately on Slowking because I can punish it with Hex later. He uses Future Sight, so I realize this is not an orthodox Slowking set. I'm thinking he's expecting he's going to switch out, but he stays in. He clicks Signal Beam. I think it was a misclick because nothing on my team is weak to Signal Beam. I go for another Will-O-Wisp expecting this man to switch out. He freaking stays in and Dragon Tails me. Swampert takes the Future Sight, as you can see, especially defensive. Thankfully, it didn't bring in Chestnut because I would have been pissed. So this allows him to go to his Q-Rem. I go for Scald, my freaking only attack. It does nothing to Q-Rem because it's a dragon. I go for Blissey. He hits Outrage on me, so he's a freaking bandit Q-Rem. This is not good. I double switch out to Sylveon. He's immune to Outrage. Thankfully, it's a 3-turn Outrage, so I'm going to be able to take this and hit him with a Hyper Voice. Kills his Q-Rem. That's one threat eliminated. He sends in Toxicroak. No, worst enemy. He knows I have to go to Jellicent here, so he plays me. It's the only switch I can make. I have to make it. He goes to Hydreigon here. I double switch into Sylveon, take the Dark Pulse. The Hydreigon does not take Life Orb damage, so that tells me that he's got to be a choice set, either Scarf or Specs. I go for Wish as he goes to a Slowking. I'm going to switch out, go to my Blissey, try to heal it up. He's smart, he Dragon Tails, forces me to bring something else in. It brings in Chestnut, who's a full HP. I smash that MF Woodhammer. Smash that Woodhammer. Because why not? He brings in his Hydreigon. I Spiky Shield to scout him because, like I said, he's got to be a choice set. So he's going for Draco Meteor here. He can switch out and go into his Toxicroak to punish the obvious Sylveon switch in, which is what he does, but I predict him and go to my Jellicent because I don't want this Toxicroak in for free. I get a Will-O-Wisp off, I get that passive damage off on his Hydreigon. I switch back out, go into my Sylveon again. He makes the smart play in U-turns that gives him the switch initiative, gives him the momentum, he goes back to his Toxicroak. He switches out again and predicts me to go to my Jellicent because that's my real answer to this thing. That's what I'm going to keep going to. I'm like, please don't pursue me. Thank God he didn't pursue me. He set up Stealth Rock as I go to my Chestnut to counter this. He makes a smart move, goes for Taunt. Sick play, dude. So he's like Taunt, Rocky Helmet, Crocodile. It's a good set. I know he's going to go for Hydreigon again, so I double switch out into my Sylveon. I protect the scout which move he's going for, see if he's got that Flash Cannon. He indeed does have the Flash Cannon going. I decide to stay in and Wish here in case he decides to switch out, but he stays in and goes for a Flash Cannon. It's fine by me because I'm able to still safely heal my Sylveon if he decided to stay in, which he did, and I can switch out to a counter afterwards. So it makes me no difference, and he's still dying to the burn damage. So I switch out, I go to my Fortress, as I know he's going for Flash Cannon, especially defensive, so he takes like nothing from that. And as this Hydreigon succumbs to the burn damage, I'm going to set up my Stealth Rock here. I need to set up my own hazards because it would affect his team a lot more than his hazards hurt mine, so that's why I didn't Rapid Spin. He goes for his Crocodile, which is a good answer to this Pokemon. I switch out, I go to my Chestnut. You know, he's probably going for Knockoff. He goes for Knockoff, removes my item, Leftovers. He taunts me again, but this time I'm ready for it. I smash that MF Woodhammer, kill the Crocodile that's in front of me. Rocky Helmet Crocodile makes me take a lot of damage with recoil from Woodhammer. He goes to his Toxicroak. Once again, I go to my Jellicent, and he hits Nasty Plot! Unexpected! Wasn't ready for this! He hits me with a Dark Pulse, and good God, it's looking like a problem. I miss Will-O-Wisp, so I can't even get damage off on this thing. It's a problem. I have to sack my Jellicent. It's going to be too weak to check anything else on this team or recover. I go to my Swampert, try to bluff that Earthquake. But in reality, I don't have it, so I just roar. It brings in a Slowking, which fine by me, especially defensive. I can rest up against this thing. You know, that's fine. The Slowking uses Future Sight, which will do a lot to something. I decide to go for my Sylveon here. He goes for Scald against me. I'm actually predicting Dragon Tail, I think that's why I went to Sylveon, to block the Dragon Tail. I go for Protect because that's the turn Future Sight's gonna hit. It blocks the Scald, but Future Sight freaking hits through Protect. Wonderful. I go for Hyper Voice, hoping it kills him, but he's like Assault Vest Slowking, so it doesn't kill him. And he succumbs to the burn damage. Sylveon is too weak to check anything else on this team, but I'm going to save it for Death Fodder later against Haxorus. I'm going to go to my Fortress because especially defensive. He goes for Sludge Wave here. The better play would have been the Dark Pulse, but I guess he just had the mindset that I was going to sack Sylveon, so he just clicked Sludge Wave. I go for Heavy Slam. Does respectable damage to Toxicroak. Respectable at least. I take the Dark Pulse to the chin, get a heavy slam, thankfully I don't flinch. So that big threat is eliminated. I really wish Will-O-Wisp had hit that thing because it wouldn't have been such a problem for my team. But now Haxorus is in. He Dragon Dances. I'm Pin Missile Fortress, so I just spray and pray, hope for the best, and I do get something pretty good. I get 4-hit Pin Missile, 2 of them are critical hits, and that's pretty huge because it's going to bring me in range to do my next play. I sack Sylveon just to get Chestnut in safely, and now there's 2 things I could have done on that play there. I could have either Spiky Shielded, predicting him to Outrage and punish him, or I could have done what I did and Leech Seeded, expecting him to expect Spiky Shield and go for Earthquake. So I Leech Seed, I then Spiky Shield as he goes for an Earthquake. I take Chestnut out because I want to be able to Spiky Shield again to guarantee that this Haxorus dies. And I go to Fortress, which ends up making it look like a really cool prediction on my part because he clicked Poison Jab. So that allows me to let Haxorus succumb to the Leech Seed damage and win the game with this stall team. Good game, Bob the Bro. That was a pretty awesome game. Like I said, I've made some modifications to the stall team since this replay. But yeah, other than that, expect more games in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, and peace.